begins with breaking news.
That breaking news, fear and chaos tearing through a family's day at the Bay. Good evening, I'm Rael Creighton. The van hit a toddler who was playing in the water. 10 News reporter Hannah Mullins live at Mission Bay with what police think caused that driver to lose control.
Police say the woman punched the gas instead of the brake. Now her van went over the curb onto the grass right here and directly into the water.
Just heard a loud screeching noise and a fully revved engine and just came straight into the water and struck my niece.
The car hadn't even hit the little girl and I was out of my seat running over there.
Her family was horrified by what happened and heartsick over what might happen next. They're visiting on a family vacation. Little Aaliyah, who's almost 3, was playing in the water with her cousins, and it seemed like a perfect day. That changed so fast, families were helpless as they watched. Police say a van with the family inside barreled into the bay, hit Aaliyah, and dragged her deeper into the water. Aaliyah's dad rushed toward his little girl, picked her up, and carried her out. We're told she was out of it for about 10 minutes, and then she started screaming and crying, which seemed to be a good sign.
No, it's terrible. A little girl just got hit. Words don't describe how this day just went.
Police don't think the driver was drinking. They just think she pumped the gas pedal by accident, and somehow we're told Aaliyah should be okay. We're live at Mission Bay. Hannah Mullins, 10 News.
Thankful that little girl's going to be all right. Thank you so much, Hannah. 10 News will stay on top of this breaking story and bring you the latest updates on our newscast and on our 10 News mobile app. Well, tens of thousands of people marking President Trump's 100th day in office with protests. This massive crowd filling the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Here in San Diego, thousands marched through downtown. 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo is live at Waterfront Park with the message that demonstrators are hoping to send.
Yeah, Riel, this park is empty right now, but earlier it was full of protesters marching in support of Mother Nature and fighting against deregulation.
The people, united, will never be divided.
Cindy Reyes and Nancy Andon are friends.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Who decided to spend their Saturday morning here.
Climate change is real. Let's march.
At a march aimed at raising awareness about protecting the environment.
It is just a march, but it's a start. It's raising a voice so that other people feel comfortable raising their voices.
Their fear is that deregulation could hurt the planet, leaving their children without natural resources.
I have 2 children, and that's what I'm most fearful for, is for their future.
Local environmental clubs, scientists, and elected officials organized the march. People marched from the county building and back.
Tell me what democracy looks like!
Chanting with dozens of signs and some even dancing. Nancy and Cindy say they are aware of the climate change deniers, often hearing the same response to their beliefs.
It's not now, it's 30 years from now, it's not important, it's not real.
But insist it is a problem that needs to be addressed.
As a scientist, the evidence is very clear. You can't just keep using things up and expect them to magically reappear.
Their hope is that more people will speak up and join their fight.
It would just get worse and worse if we keep cutting and keep ignoring and letting corporations do what they want.
Now, we did reach out to the San Diego Republican Party chairman, who said in a statement that it was a shame that some were choosing to politicize protecting the environment to push their political agenda. He also said that San Diegans deserve better on this important issue. Reporting live in downtown, Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
Laura, thank you. Across the country, a similar scene. Climate marches from D.C. to Denver to Seattle. The president himself just wrapping up a rally in Pennsylvania. ABC's Maggie Rulli has a look at the president's accomplishments and roadblocks so far and the challenges ahead.
President Donald Trump's 100th day in office looking a lot like the first. Protesters in the streets of Washington as tens of thousands march for the climate and against President Trump's policies.
My fellow Americans,
the man himself is claiming top marks in his weekly address.
I truly believe that the first 100 days of my administration has been just about the most successful in our country's history.
Today, the president is heading to Pennsylvania to mark the milestone by signing another executive order. Trump previously criticized President Obama's use of executive orders, but Trump has signed more than Obama did in his first 100 days, 30 orders and counting.
I, Neil M. Gorsuch.
There have been other victories, the most significant filling the vacant seat of the Supreme Court. But the journey has been rocky. While Trump has signed 29 bills into law, none represent his major legislative goals, like repealing and replacing Obamacare. That measure still stalled in the Republican Congress. His temporary travel ban on predominantly Muslim countries blocked by the courts. His promise to build that wall and make Mexico pay also in limbo.
I'd give him a gentleman's C. It has been such a sort of chaotic 100 days. Now, a lot of voters seem to like that.
ABC News caught up with voters from battleground Pennsylvania to get their take.
I don't give grades. You don't give grades? I'm not a teacher.
I would say I'd give him a B+.
Right now, I'd give him a C-.
F.
100 days down, more than 1,300 to go. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Turning to our weather now, a live look outside, a hot and windy weekend in San Diego, but no complaints. 10 News Pinpoint weather anchor Jennifer De La Cruz tracking it all from the Weather Center.
Yeah, it was not a bad day for your Saturday. Perfect weather for your weekend. We saw nothing but sunshine and blue skies. No cloud coverage at all in La Jolla right now. Looks like a great way to end your Saturday afternoon. Our wind speeds have been dying down, but we still are a little bit gusty in San Diego with 16-mile-per-hour winds coming from the ocean, though. So we're starting to see the sea breeze, and the Santa Ana winds are dying down. We're still dealing with those Santa Anas, though, in our mountain and desert areas, but we're going to continue to see the wind speeds calming into the night. Our temperatures right now, 76 degrees in San Diego, 77 in El Cajon, and 77 in Poway. Our 24-hour temperature change shows us we're warmer than where we were at this time yesterday. That's thanks to those winds, but we're going to see some changes heading our way. We'll talk more about that coming up in your 7-day forecast.
Okay, Jennifer, we'll wait for that. Meantime, CAL FIRE says this fire season could be especially dangerous. This winter's rains left a lot of green on Cowles Mountain and across the county, but now some of it is turning brown.
That stuff's going to die out. We know that. It dies out every year, no matter how much rain we get.
So it was similar dry brush that fueled the devastating fires in 2003, 2007, and 2014. Captain Isaac Sanchez says that firefighters all over Southern California are aware of the windy weekend forecast. Even though they're not ramping up extra teams, he says they are ready. Well, meantime, people living in the South Bay marching for clean water. Families outraged after sewage spills have repeatedly impacted water in the South Bay. People say the smell has been unbearable and people are getting sick.
It's just getting worse. Our kids surf in this water. We grew up here. We love our beach. We want clean water. And do we want our Navy SEALs training in this stuff? Really?
Now, the International Boundary and Water Commission says that 28 million gallons of raw sewage seeped into the Tijuana River in February. The mayor of Imperial Beach wants new equipment to divert Mexican sewage away from the South Bay. A cyclist is dead after an off-road crash in the North County. Police found the man unconscious off the side of a bike path near North Santa Fe Avenue and the 76 this morning. Paramedics tried to revive him, but he did not survive. Investigators are trying to figure out what caused him to crash. Meantime, police still searching for the thieves who pulled off two brazen heists at two Apple stores yesterday. Both stores ransacked within about 30 minutes of each other. Police say 3 men with knives barged into the Fashion Valley Apple store and ripped iPads and iPhones off the display. They took off in a silver Chevy. About a half an hour earlier, the same thing happening at the Apple store in the UTC Mall. Police say the thieves got away with about $10,000 worth of products. Well, now to another crime alert, this one involving a prop from a 90s horror movie. Police say a man in a Scream mask walked into a Pizza Hut late last night, told employees that he had a gun, and ordered them to get down. This was at the Edgar Highland store near Coronado Avenue and 18th Street in the South Bay. Police say the robber got away with money and some of the employees' personal property. Investigators have identified the suspected drunk driver involved in a high-speed chase through San Diego last night. As Simone Bahu, witnesses called 911 saying that he was drinking a bottle of wine in his car. Deputies tried to pull him over, but he took off, leading them on a 30-minute chase, they say. CHP officers eventually used a pit maneuver to stop the car in La Mesa. Mahu was arrested on charges of running from police, resisting arrest, and DUI. Well, some sad news now. A sea lion pup born at SeaWorld has died. That pup, named Little Jim, was born on Wednesday after her sick mother was rescued just the day before. The premature pup passed away last night. An necropsy will be conducted to determine the cause of death. Little Jim's mother was picked up after displaying signs of domoic acid poisoning. The acid is produced by algae and builds up in things that sea lions eat. San Diegans enjoying a new park. Today, Mayor Kevin Faulconer officially opening Savita Park in Mission Valley with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The park is on 14 acres of land. It includes a dog park, community gardens, a splash pad area, basketball courts, and board game area. Hundreds of people showed up to enjoy it.
This park becomes their backyard. It's really important for society and the people of San Diego to have a place to call their own.
The park is part of a larger project in the area, and some neighbors are not happy about it. A large group of them showed up to protest. Tonight on 10 News at 11, why they say the project is bad news for their community. Well, a member of the military has died. The service member was hurt when an explosive device went off outside of Mosul, Iraq. The person died from their injuries. The service member has not been identified, but this is the third American to die this week in the fight against ISIS. As the weather warms up, more San Diegans getting in the water. The huge push to make sure that kids are staying safe. Plus rain, lightning, and snow. The awful weather all over the country. Sure to make you happy that you're living in San Diego.
We've got another breezy day on tap in San Diego County. I'll pinpoint when those winds will start to die down coming up in your 7-day forecast.